Trusted rocker.
Making sure this works. Making sure. Okay. Works. 120. Breaks ends in 10 seconds. All right. I think we got everything figured out. Cool. All right. So let's just get started with it today. How are y'all doing? We don't know. My name is Frent, and these lights are bright. I'm gonna see if I can like turn on the light. See if that looks any better. That's the way the lights are. Closer. There we go. Still doesn't work. A little bit weird, but you know. It's shiny, I guess. All right, whatever. So, what are we doing today? So, for those who don't know, I am the creator and founder, I guess if you want to call it that. I don't like using that term because it's just like not founding anything. Like I am technically, but at the same time, it's like one of those. It makes it sound more pretentious than I want to be because it's like, oh yes, I am the founder of it. I created a basically. I am creating um, a website. Now, of course, everyone and their mother can do a website, but what this is that we are creating an affordable Minecraft hosting platform. And why I was doing this was because I was noticing that our competitors, they're starting out at people for like $7+ just for like 5 people. And I was like, I can get that lower. So that is what we're going to be doing today. I have done my research on it, trying to see where we can cut the fat and not just go like full on like power hungry and see where we can be able to do this. Now, we're going to be doing this from the step, all the way from beginning to end. And right now, we are in the beginning phases of it. So what does it look like? So right now, we are on the website. So I created this website. Lovely, can see that, whatever. Create this website so that I can get it started. So hit explore services, and this is where it is. You just hit join waitlist. We join the waitlist, and once it goes live on, where do we do that? Hold on. I really don't. That might annoy me. I think it's better to be darker. All right. Anyways, let's redo that. So I have a website. Blah blah blah. There we go. This looks better. All right. So this is the website, and it's created it so that once the service actually goes live, this will be your one-stop area to get it. So it's this, go into the joint waitlist. This will be the waitlist so that once the Minecraft service is up and running, these people will know about it first. I'm thinking about giving like discounts for those people that sign up so that you are incentivized to. You want to join the waitlist so that you get a cheaper service, even cheaper. Now, right now, I'm still trying to work out the business side of it, but I'm shooting to get a service up and running, hopefully in the next 3 months, and it will, for just the normal person, it will cost $3.99 per month for up to 5 players, and then with if you want to add more players, it'll go up, but like relatively speaking, it will be cheaper. So the first thing that we had to do was I had to create an entire diagram of how we're going to do it. So welcome to poorly explained AWS services, because that's what we're going to be using. The first thing you notice is that we have a login button. This login is how we're going to be able to kick everything off. So if you want to join the waitlist, you just log in already. You can either do it with AWS, or excuse me, you can either do it with Google, like your Google email address, or you can use Apple, or you can create an account. Either one works. It really does not matter. But you're going to be using this to interact with the AWS or the Minecraft servers things, because that's where your dashboard's going to be, where you can like update it, your billing, all of that stuff. Okay, so with that, what are we doing? Well, we are going to be creating a service that ad break in 5 seconds. All right, after this ad break, I will explain what we're doing. It says we're on an ad break, but I'm not sure if that's actually true or not. It says I have pre-rolls off for the next 14 minutes, so I don't know why that is going. Anyways, I'm gonna keep going. Okay, so this website, join the waitlist if you want to know, and you'll most likely get a welcome bonus, or a waitlist bonus for those that sign up first. Get a discount code, which is always great. So here's what we're doing. So for those who don't know, this is the ad break ends in a minute. Oh, so it is there. What? This is dumb. All right, so this is the basic diagram of what will be happening in the server itself, like behind the scenes, for those that really care about the technology that is happening. It's a lot of steps, and they all have to work with each other for it to actually work, but that is what makes it so nice. So the first thing that you saw was the login, which is right here. We're literally right here-ish area, just because I'm waiting for some overhead of the payment area. So the first one is called AWS Cognito. I'm gonna go over everything, and then we'll have each one broken up. So we have AWS Cognito, we have a payment handler, then we have a AWS Global Accelerator. I might have gotten these in the wrong format now that I think about it. Hold on, let me see. Because I knew I had to redo it because I got the tweaking of it. I don't think so. Okay, so we'll just keep it this way, just for now. It's gonna look roughly like this. So once you get it, you get to a thing called Global Accelerator. What that essentially does is that wherever you are, based off of your IP address, because that's how you get your base ads or whatever, like your location base, they look at your IP, because that's just showing you where you are. We are going to route, this one should probably actually be over here, but whatever. We're going to route you to Route 53, which is going to create your own subdomain. And what that's going to do is, because when you get a AWS Cognito, you get a token, which is basically an authentication token that allows you to interact with all of this stuff. Now, you don't see anything. You just press a button and boom, it all works. That's what we want to do. But that's going to be how it works. So after you get the Global Accelerator, is going to pass it to the Route 53 to create your own like subdomain. Main reason we're doing this is so that if someone tries and like goes in your server, they can't, because they don't have your authentication token. It's specific to your account. Okay, anyways, once it does that, it fires a Lambda function that basically spins up all the infrastructure that we need of all of this stuff, that basically turns it on. So this thing is called a ECS, or container services. Think think of containers as like a boat. You know, it's like those giant boats that just hold those like little crate things on it and transports them across these. You know, like the ones that like giant truck drivers, those things. But this is the boat itself. Okay. So what that does is that it starts that up, and then from there it gets a thing called Fargate, which Fargate is a serverless technology that, for a lack of better words, just at this level, it essentially just creates the little containers themselves. You know, on the big ship, it's the containers themselves. And then based off of the tier that you want, all of the credentials and where you're located will just already be spun up for you. That way that you don't have to do anything, and you would get the lowest latency because it's going to find the container. It's going to do that wherever in the world you are at your spot, so that you get lower latency, so that you don't have to be like what's this server versus this server. You know, it's like these two servers. You know, I like to use, let's just use the United States. It's like, you're in, I don't know, North, let's go, I'm trying to think of like somewhere. You're in Kansas, and is what is it? Is the New York server, or is the New York, Ohio, or the Arizona server better for you? And that could be like, you know, a couple milliseconds of latency between them. But Global Accelerator would be like, yeah, based off my pathing, this is the best one. So we're going to spin it up in that region. It's very nice. I think it's going to be great for you all, because it just, at that point, it's one less thing about it. I'm trying to make this as like plug in and play, if you will, as possible. You press a button and boom, it spins up. You get the lowest latency without having to think about anything. So after that, it spins it up in this container. Then we get a watchdog. What the watchdog container would do, again, you'll never see this, but that's okay. This thing is, because these are containers, they're not active when you're not using them. That's how we can keep the prices so low, because with a server, you're playing on someone else's computer. That's essentially what this is. That is what a server is. You're remote, like you're playing on a different computer somewhere in the world, which is crazy to think about. But yeah, and if you keep them running 24/7, they cost money. So what we are doing is, you are only paying for the time that you are actually in the server. As soon as you drop from the server will shut down, and you are not paying anymore. So, and because of that, we're saving money. So because we're saving money, we're going to pass that savings off to you all. And so that's the I don't want to say the bread and butter of it, but that's how it's going to work. So this thing is a watchdog container that basically watches this container that you're going to be playing in, or your server. That's essentially going to be a way to dictate if there's movement. So if you're AFK for too long, if they're not like moving around, if there isn't like typing, there's not, you're moving around and playing the game. Basically, if you're not playing the game itself and you're AFK for however long, probably gonna be like 10 minutes. If you're AFK for 10 minutes, it's going to start the process of shutting things down, so that it saves you money, so that we can keep the costs low. But here's the problem. So if these things, as soon as it shuts down and then just basically goes away, and we're only like renting the time inside of it, there is no memory for it. So this is where this side comes in, okay? So this is called EFS, and it's going to be attach itself to this container. Think of EFS as a extended RAM. It essentially is your memory within the container itself that allows you to keep playing it. Like, it remembers things for the short term and just keeps writing to it, so that as you're playing within that world, you are remembering it, so it doesn't like immediately crash. So we have all the things that you're doing inside of it. You know, you built your house, it remembers where it is, things of that nature. But when you leave, it would without this part, it would disappear. So this is called data sync, and essentially what that does is that it makes sure that across sessions, or in some cases, a use case can be across devices. So if you're going, so think Apple, for instance. You know, when you have your phone and then you move to your computer and then you have it on your iPad, they're all the same amount of like iCloud. They're most likely using a service like data sync, that kind of thing, where the continuity between all devices are the same. In our case, we're going to be doing it continuity. Is that my cat? I think so. You're going to have continuity across all of the play sessions. So when we have that, it needs to save somewhere. We have to save it because once these go away, this goes away, because it's the same concept of as soon as it's done, it just gets destroyed. Same thing with this thing. But what happens is that when you shut down, once this thing realizes, hey, there's no one here, it fires this, that actually it fires the data sync that takes all the data that you put in that world in that play session, and it sends it over to our bucket. Think of our bucket is called S3. Think of S3 as your SSD or your hard disk. It's your long-term memory things. So all your game files, what you modified, all of that stuff will be saved in here. All right, cool. So what happens? So now we have how it saves, how it spins up. So what's going to happen is once we get into the server, it's going to grab this Minecraft server, because there's you can go into, I think, you can go into Mojang's website and see, you can actually download a server from that. And so it's going to, in the Fargate cluster, think of it as like a virtual computer. It's going to take that, download all of the important files, and basically set it up so that it can run a Minecraft server. And so from that, after that's all done, it will go to our next service right here called SMS or SES. SMS is like simple notification services, and SES is simple email service. So SMS will just then notify you either email or text message or push notifications, whatever we decided to be. It'll tell you, hey, your server is now ready. And then after that, that's when it will give you the IP and you can log in, and then boom, you can play. And then you play it, you connect. Whoops, I hit the wrong button. I'm very good at this, aren't I? Where'd it go? There it is. Okay, back to this. So once it sends the notification to you, then you just log in with your Minecraft launcher and the IP address that you got from the SMS saying, here, you're logged in, here's your IP, go have fun. And then you just log in. And then from there, it takes you to the Minecraft server that is in the Minecraft server that's somewhere in the world. Now, that's it. That's basically the entirety of, that's the solutions architect diagram of it. Took me a while to it, but here's how we're going to do it. So welcome to the first part called Poorly Explained. Explained. Why am I doing this? I don't know. Okay, poorly explained. Woohoo. Okay. First one, we got Cognito. We're going to call it Cog for short. No, we're not. Nito. Cognito is a very simple, I think, straightforward service. You can see it in action if you come into the login button. So I will just walk you through it. You go log in. It brings up this. This is where you can either create an account through an email and password, or you can do sign in with Apple, connect with Google. So I'm going to sign in with Apple. I'm just going to, it brings you up to the Apple page. I'm going to sign in. Okay, cool. So you click the login button, and it says, if it takes you through the Apple workflow, if you ever have that, takes you through, you hit continue with Apple. And because of it, look, you are now on, it signed you in, you have an authentication key, which it pops up here, but I've done some magic to basically remove it, but keep it in so that you don't have to see it. But yeah, we have a dashboard that this dashboard is going to basically have your server on it. It's going to have your billing, if you want to upgrade, and just things of that nature. If you like some tweaking things, if you want to, I guess if you want to upgrade, if you want to add in different versions of Minecraft. You want to do, if you want to like change it from, vanilla Minecraft to this version or whatever, that's going to be it. That's going to work. For now, I'm just going to be transparent about it so that we can gauge of how it's going to be. We're going to just offer vanilla Minecraft, just straight vanilla. I want to say the goal of this is that I have noticed that there is a market, and I've had this as well, where I wanted to play Minecraft with friends, and I wanted to see if people were interested in it. So when I was starting off with YouTube, like a couple years ago, I was like, hey, we should host a Minecraft server where we have friends that play. It was everything from a YouTube channel kind of Minecraft hosting, just to like other friends and stuff, like community. The thing is that I knew that I didn't like it that I was spending so much on it. Like it could be up to like $15, I think, for that. And so because of it, I was like, I want to find that nice middle ground. This type of server is going to be something that is used for the people that want a Minecraft server, but want to have as little like switching around. You press a button and it just works. That is the kind of like person that this server is going to be amazing for. It's going to be I don't want any modifications. I just want to play Minecraft with my friends every once in a while. And we are updating it so it can be like that. And that is what we're going for. And I think realistically speaking, we've gotten it at least in my like original not studies, but like pricing, we've gotten it down to, I think, as cheap as possible with as much game time. I think I got it to 180 hours, which is divided by 30. So that's like 6 hours every single day of gameplay that you can do this. With up to 5 friends, it will be $3.99. So like it's ridiculously good. Hi, Jim. So, needless to say, Cognito. That took me way too long-winded answer. But yeah, that's going to be the way that we can eventually decide you're going to do it. But we need to, start with step 1 to get this. We needed to get this button on here so that we could start the next phases. But anyways, how does Cognito work? That is a great question. I'm glad you asked. So Cognito is a authentication. So if you know anything about authentication, so user, here you are. Woohoo! Just yay. So you want to access the server, right? We're gonna make this. You want to access the server and all of the really cool technology of this, right? But how do I know that you're supposed to be there? I don't. So that's why I have this very big, scary Cognito. And it's not scary at all, because it's just it's a proof of it's think of Cognito as like a bouncer. It's like, who are you? He's just like, who are you? And you're like, here, my guy, here's my ID. Just yeah, scribble. And so he'll take your ID, and then let's say you use it was Facebook, just because it's easy and it's blue. So he'll take your ID, go to Facebook, and be like, is this person real? And Facebook's like, yep, that's real. And so they take that it gives them a key, a generated key that basically says, yes, this is the person. So then it comes back to him, and he's like, all right, because of that, you've taken this authentication and this authentication. All right, I'll grant you access to it. I'm going to send it over to Cognito, the actual service. The server things with your ID and the Facebook ID. I'm going to return another key backwards. Backwards? This key that I can't see, you can't see, but it's just in there. This, I have so many errors, it's awesome, is now a new form of ID called an IAM, or Identity Access Manager user role, or whatever. And essentially what this does is gives you temporary access and authentication to use whatever I used in the back. So basically it gives you temporary access to use all of the stuff. And that's how you can connect to the Minecraft server, because you have the authentication through all of the stuff. And that's what it is. And what makes it so useful for developers is that there is some like insane amount of security and like authentication stuff that happens. Let's just make this bolder. Right here in that area where it's like some insane amount of cybersecurity algorithm stuff that I don't know how to do. And I don't know how to be like completely safe with the user data. That's why Amazon created the way to do it, and they created the perfect way of, well, I don't know if it's perfect, but it works for my use case. And so because of it, I get a clean route for it. It makes it so easy. Like that's just so much easier. But yeah, so that is a very brief and very just, I guess, high level of what Cognito is. And I was just using this like a couple of days ago, so it's still fresh in my mind. Boop. Yeah, Jim, how we doing? I'm so happy. I got this button working. I got the AWS Cognito finally working. It is a pain in the butt, because here's something I didn't know. When you use, here, let me just do something real quick. Okay, look at this. So by default, it has these two, right? So you're going to sign up, sign in. It'll give you all of that fun stuff. If you want the sign in with Google or sign in with Apple, you have to have a Google Cloud subscription, or like use Google Cloud to authenticate with Google Cloud. And then for Apple, you have to use their their Apple developer account. And if you don't have that, you can't use sign in with Apple. So what's funny is that by doing this and offering continue with Apple, I have basically just signed myself away to $99 per year to keep this feature, to keep that. And technically Google could be more expensive because they do it off of a requests version. So like if someone had, if this thing somehow got to, I think like a giant amount of, it got just popped off in popularity, and I had like 30,000 people request that Google, like just the Google link, it would cost me money because only the first 2,000 requests are free. I think like per day or per month or something like that. I think it's per day. Yeah. So like technically that's a lot. So if I was getting like 30,000 new signups every day, that would be crazy. I mean, it'd be a great problem. But the funny part is that on top of it, this hosting thing also costs, which is like, it's one of those things where like you don't think about that kind of stuff. Like having this entire service of sign in with Google and Apple and stuff, you don't think about it, honestly. It's one of those things that with it, you just don't. But the thing is, the pricing model of how they are going to charge is so forgiving and generous that you're like, yeah, if I have to start paying, I have a better problem. Because, excuse me, for them to even start charging me, I have to have like 50,000 monthly active users. So if I have 50,000 people using, I'm not even gonna say like using my service, but like, so times 3.99. Oh wait, no, 15,000. So there we go. So like if I have 15,000 people spending $3.99, I think it's okay if I start charging for it. Actually, no, it would technically be the 15,001th person. Actually, no, it's 50,000, not 15. Excuse me. There we go. So, like I might never really worry about it. I don't know. That's probably not going to be a high. There's going to be other services that, because it only starts getting charged when you have the 51st thousand. 50,001 is that one person is the person that gets charged. Okay. But yeah. So if you're new here and you want to know more about AWS services, hit that like button, and actually don't hit the like button. Go give me a comment. Tell me which one you want me to do next, and share this with a buddy. Because honestly, subscribing and liking doesn't mean anything. All right, next one. Global Accelerator. Okay. I'm not going to write it out, but think about this. Here's the UI. We're going to, here we go. We're just going to do it. Here's the, no, that's way too small. No, I don't like that. Bigger. There we go. Okay. Here's the United States. That's Europe. That's Asia. Yeah. And fucking Australia's over here. Something like that, okay? And here is Asia, okay? So here's how Global Accelerator works. When you have, let's say I have a user, let's say here, got a user here. This is technically India, so I need to make it Africa. There we go. Got a user here, and then also in Australia. Why not? Okay, and then someone in the middle, you'll be right here. Okay, so here's how Global Accelerator works. When you route stuff through the internet, right? It has to go through your ISP, and then from there it can take so many routes. So like let's say you're connecting to purple will be the server. So it's right, server's right here. For you, I'm just gonna put random servers, right? So there's one right here, there's one right here, there's one right here. For you, there's one right here, there's one up here, there's one here, there's one here. That's a big old, it's too big. Okay, so there's servers all over the world, right? We're gonna make, I think blue. Yeah, we'll do dark blue. So with a normal server, or when you have it just without Global Accelerator, when you have it, it can go to this IP, then it bounces here, 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 here. Hey, look, there we go, finally. And then because of that, every single time it had to go somewhere, it caused latency. With Global Accelerator, you basically immediately get to Amazon's network, and then from there, they find the service that has the lowest amount of latency for it. So instead of having to go all the way through the internet, you basically connect. It's kind of like a VPN, but not really. It jumps you on the Amazon network and then finds you the shortest path to the nearest server. So like for instance, if you were here, the closest might have been, around the world, and you come, off of this side, and hit this one eventually, right? But instead of doing that, you hit the server, you hit the Global Accelerator, and it goes, oh look, there's one right here, and then you connect to that one. Or if this one's, for instance, here's another cool part about it. If you go to this one and it's like down for whatever reason, and you're on the if you're not on it on the Global Accelerator, it might just go to it, but it's not great. So you get a worse experience on something that's closer, because the service in that region is down for some reason, because everyone knows Amazon does go down, because it's not often, but like it's like anything, something's bad gonna happen. I think it was like in 2023 during September there was a massive outage. So like it does happen. They just hope it doesn't often. So anyways, with Global Accelerator, it could be like, oh, this one's not doing well, we're gonna route you somewhere else. This one, it's like this one's the best. So that's essentially what it does. It's a way to give you the best experience and route you to the closest service. So so that you just don't have to worry about other latency and stuff and fight traffic of other users. Anyways, global accelerator, pretty cool. All right, I'm just going to skip Route 53 because it's just a DNS service. For those that, I'm going to give you like a 30-second thing. I could make this into a TikTok. It's going to be so short. DNS. Think of everything in the entire world and networking has an address. So think about your house where you live. There's an entire address that you see in human form. So like, that's not it. 1, 2, 3, temple, right? Temple. That's your address. The thing is, the computer can't really read this. It has no idea what this is. It has no idea what that is. But in human language, 1, 2, 3, temple works well. So in its language, 1.1.2, 112.12.198 point, blah, blah, blah. That's the address it's the same thing for the computer. It's just in digit form. Which one for the human is easier to understand? Well, obviously you know what the 1, 2, 3 temple is. That's essentially what DNS is. It just takes the numbers and coats it and like basically wraps it inside of that so that you can read it. Because like if you go to, here's a great example. Okay, so Cloudflare. I use them, right? See? Their address is cloudflare.com, right? But the thing is, 1.1.1.1, it's also Cloudflare. It's kind of just that way of thinking. Or Google IP address. I think it's like, yeah. So, yeah. DNS 8.8.8. That's Google. If you visit it, I don't even know if you can visit it. I'm kind of curious. I've never tried to visit 8.8.8. Anyways, that's basically the gist of it. Not really that interesting. We're going to use Cloudflare to basically give a domain, which I have is nobosoftware.com, and then put a subdomain where you are going to be. So, your username dot nobosoftware.com, that's going to be your address that that's going to be the address that we send all of the Minecraft servers to. So that's basically all it is. Was it longer than a TikTok? Yeah, technically. All right, what else we got? Cheese. All right, so after that, we got Lambda. Lambda is very easy. It literally is just, it's going to be the thing that invokes the service to work, if that makes any sense. It probably doesn't, but think about it this way. A Lambda function is, for anyone that has programmed before, it's a script. That's all it does. Your Lambda function does one thing and then shuts down. It does not remember anything past to it. So you could have a function or a Lambda function that says, start the server. So, start server, whatever, blah, blah, blah. All right, and I'm just gonna hold on and just do that. I don't know when we're gonna be back, but we will. Do, 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 do. I had coffee today. It's very good. Pre-rolled off. Sweet! I think we're back. Why is it unstable? Average bit rate? It's too high? I haven't dropped any frames though. What? Yo, are we unstable for a bit? No? I think he's just lying to me. Average bitrate too high. That's funny. All right. Are we back? Yes? No? I can't tell. I wish I could see where ad breaks were so that it says pre-rolls are on. So I don't know if that's stream health. I think it's, yeah, it looks good. Okay. Okay. I don't know. I think we're back. Maybe. Uh, we'll say yes. Okay. It looks like we're back. I mean, we have a 42-minute ad, or like, excuse me, no ads for the next 42 minutes. Okay. Cool. All right, Lambda functions. Back to that. So Lambda functions literally just do one thing. And not just like one thing, but the way that you're supposed to use them is like they have one function or job and then they shut down. That's it. So for one of my apps, I had a Lambda function. So this is gonna be you. It's my Lambda function. My app, so when a user made a request for a key, a authorization key, right, within the app, or they made, actually, let's redo that. They made a request, they hit a button that basically said, show me the coffee shops within this area. So then this fired to Lambda, then told the Lambda, go find me the authentication key for this, for my API. At the time it was my Yelp API, because I need that. That basically says that you're allowed to go do that. Give me the key so that I can send it. So then from there, it would send it off to a thing. It would go talk to another service called parameter store. And parameter store would have it and be like, do you have the correct permissions to be able to access these things? It would give it the credentials, be like, here are my credentials that say, yes, I can. And it's like, it looks at it and goes, awesome. I'll send it back. It sends it back. And then once it has it, it sends back the credentials to the app for the user. And then this shuts down. It just goes away. So the next time that the user asks and goes, hey, I need credentials, I need the access keys, it has no idea that it just gave it to them. And so that's what makes it special, is that it does not have any memory of the previous invoke, I guess. So we like to call that it's being stateless. So then again, it goes back and does the same requests, and then it sends it back, and then they get the key again. Yippee! And then it wipes it all over again. Now, obviously, if you invoke it every single time, if you kept on doing it, you get charged by the amount of times that it gets invoked. The thing about that is that, of course, I added things to like cache it for a certain amount of time, but you do. The thing is that it's a very, very generous. It has 1 million requests. You can request that 1 million times every single month, and you will not get charged. You will only get charged on the millionth and first. That one is where you're going to get charged. Anything above that, Now, here's the thing though. Um, to give a like that is the higher level. There's also some nuanced stuff of it, as in like, well, what happens if it takes a long amount of time? Because this, there's two things that you get charged when you have a Lambda function. The first one is invoking it itself, right? And then that's the 1 million parameters. The second thing that you get charged on is the length that it was operating. So if you have, so with that, to get it as cheap as possible, you want the length to be as short as possible. We're talking, you would want it to be milliseconds if that's possible. Obviously that's not always possible, but the shorter amount of length, the better, because you get billed for every like millisecond or whatever that you get, that it's or it's every second. It might be like every second or something like that. So if you get milliseconds, you're not charged. Yeah, you can go. There's more deeper into that, but I think that's good enough, because if you try to go any deeper, then you're getting into like, well, what language do you use? How do you start cold starts? How do you provisioned and all of that stuff? And it's just way above. I might make a video if you like the video, you want me to go more in depth into it versus just like 100 and 200 level, leave in the comments and I could do it. Why not? I enjoy nerding out over serverless technology. All right, so next one. We briefly talked over it. It's this one called ECS, or Elastic Container Service. Think of that as like a boat, and like we're talking about those giant boats, like the ones that they go across the seas that you see in the pirate movies, that have like, it's just a long deck, and then like each one has those giant containers that just stack on top of each other, right? And they just look like this. They're like, oh, let me just stack one, stack two, all this fun stuff. They stack like this, right? Look at my boat. It's a very nice boat. This right here is ECS. It is the boat itself. And on this boat, it can have a lot of these little guys, these containers. These containers can start stuff. So that's the like analogy part of it. What they're doing is that these containers, I guess from a technical standpoint, it would be like the boat is the operating system itself, and you can attach applications to it. And that's what these are. So, it's like you have the boat right here. Making sure I'm not covering it. My head is. All right, well, I'll throw it over here. Make sure I can see everything, because I have like a lot of stuff. Okay, so on this side, here you have the ECS, right? And then on top of it, you can have applications such as your Fargate, your EC2. And EC2 is basically just like a virtual machine computer, and you can do different things with that. And that's why they're so powerful, because, what can you do with a computer? Well, there's a lot of stuff. It depends on what you need. But this one, because it's serverless, it attaches itself to the container itself, and you give it specifications. I want it to have 0.125 CPU with 1 gigabyte of memory. Okay, and that's all you control in Fargate. You just give it the CPU size and the RAM size, and that's it. From there, the Fargate, once you give it the notification or the requirements that you want, Fargate will go out into its vast amount of, I guess, like resources, and find the most optimal part of it. And that's what the best part about it is, that Amazon wants to save the customers money when it comes to this kind of stuff. Because if you're telling customers, hey, we're going to go find, Fargate, and we're going to give you the most expensive one because it saves us, or it gives us the most amount of money. Well, no one would use it. Why would a company intentionally use the most expensive one? No. So Amazon gives them the most cost optimized one for that thing. And so because of it, Amazon doesn't care the size of the image. They try to make that as small as possible. They're going to charge you on the amount of time that the image itself is, is online and it's working. That's where you're going to get charged every like minute, or I don't know if it's by second or minutes. I think it's seconds. Let me double check on that. Fargate pricing. Yes, it is. Oh, it's per hour. Really? That's crazy. So for instance, we're going to use, let's just bring this up for you. So here's the pricing. See? So the pricing details is based off of the amount of virtual CPU, memory, operating system, and CPU architecture. And then, pods or whatever. So we're going to use the Linux ARM because that's your best pricing model of it. Per CPU hour, you're going to basically every hour that CPU is online, you're going to pay 3 cents. And then for the gigabyte hour, for as much every per gigabyte, you're going to be paying 0.030. So like if you take that and you multiply it by, I don't know, I need 4 gigs of RAM, you're essentially going to be paying almost 1.5 pennies per hour. Now, it doesn't seem like a lot, but these things can add up very quickly. What is this? Fargate 20 is available for Turbo, and you'll pay for additional. I wish I would show you. All right, let's do this. So, example, you have 10 tasks, so like all those pods that we're talking about, running Windows for 1 hour, or 3,600 seconds every day for 1 month, 30 days, where each task takes 1 CPU and 2 gigabyte memory. So yeah, it has you pay for the CPU charges, the window operating charges, and that's the monthly charges. So yeah, so you have the monthly CPU, Windows charges, and the monthly memory charges. So with all of that, you would pay $47.25 if that's all you're using. Now again, Windows is actually more expensive. Let's see if I can find one. Graviton 2. So Graviton is when you want to do it because it can get very cheap. And that's why when you're doing these, like you always want to use Amazon's Graviton stuff. But again, this is not a fair example because you have 5 of them. This had 10 minutes each day, while this had an hour. So it's not exactly, apples to oranges kind of thing. 5, I run 10 minutes every day. So yeah, it depends. I mean, it really does. 10 pods for 1 hour every day, where each pod uses that. So it just depends. But yeah, that's the gist of EKS. And then honestly, Fargate is this guy. It's the pods, like it's the actual containers themselves. So how many containers do you have? That's it. Yep. And then the watchdog container is just basically another container that's watching that one. It's like this container is watching the activity of that one to make sure that this one's actually being used. And then as soon as this one goes, nope, this thing's not being used anymore, this thing takes it to the next step that basically says, shut it down. And then in shutting it down, it kills itself. It's like a suicide pact kind of thing. It's like, if you're dying, I'm coming. Well, no, it's not like a suicide pact. I guess it is. It's like, if you're dying, I'm coming with you. Best friends till the end. But yeah. Okay. EFS. So I think I talked about this one, but I'm going to go over it briefly because it connects to this. EFS is basically just like a little, well, let me get green and like just clean up all of the random lines. I'm trying to get rid of it. There we go. Okay. So while this is doing stuff, it basically attaches itself right here. You know, just, hello, I'm here. And it's basically allowing this to offload all of the memory so that it doesn't have to keep the memory. It offloads it all to right there so that you can have a better performing like system. And then what it does is that data sync, which is this one, is the purple guy. The purple person box. Then as soon as the, I guess, we'll call him the assassination one, just there he is. He's all grumpy. He notices that this container is not receiving any data at all for the last 10 minutes. So what does he do? He takes him out. He destroys it. He says, yep, we're going down. And so what happens is that when that happens, this little guy makes a lifeline, says, hey, give me all your data. I guess robs him, basically. And he's like, okay, I'm going down with the ship anyways. So they exchange phone numbers, and he gives it to him. And then what happens is that you have your bucket. Let's put a little bucket here. Woohoo! There's our bucket, just chilling in space. The purple, we'll go with pink, just dumps all of the data that came from this, which came from the game itself. So for your game that you just played in, it dumps it into the bucket and saves it. And it's basically like writing it to memory so that the next time it happens, it like works. So it's like it remains in memory essentially. With your world that you just created, it doesn't just disappear, because as soon as, if we didn't have this guy, if we didn't have the EFS or the data sync, as soon as the guard container noticed that this died and no one was there, your entire world would be just poofed. It would be gone, just absolutely destroyed. Now here's the fun part. So we're saying, okay, so what happens when you leave and it shuts down? But when you come back, what happens? Well, that's a great question. What happens is that you get a fresh new container. This operating system, same metrics. It comes with your, let's just say 0.25 CPU and 1 memory or 1 RAM. It has no memory of anything. It goes, I'm just sitting here, and your EFS attaches itself again and goes, I have no memory of anything. But what happens is that the data sync goes, nope, you actually do. Let me just pull it out and shove it back into you, so that it basically allows you to resume exactly where you came from. That's why it's needed, because the EFS allows you to continue play between sessions. So it's very important to have that. But yeah, data sync. Yeah, this is your bucket, your S3. Again, at any point, if this is something that you would want to know more about or want me to go into deeper levels, because I'm trying to keep this at very, manageable levels. If this is something that you would find interesting, let me know in the comments, and I will make a more in-depth for those that want to go more technical with it. But yeah, or share with your friends. That would work too. So last but not least, we have SNS or SES. So SNS is, that is not what I'm supposed to do. I'm impressed with this. This is kind of cool. All right, let's get rid of our entire ship. Boop, down with the ship. Woohoo! Okay. Get my thing back. SNS. What is that? Well, it's simple notification services. Engineers and their love for great naming sequences. Gotta make sure no one's talking to me. Perfect. Think of SNS as a publisher. We call it the pub sub or publisher subscriber relationship. So what happens is you have a person or thing And in your case, it's the server. This is your server that's booted up. And then we'll make you orange because we like orange. Yay. So what happens is this is the server. Sure. Once the server gets all of its green checks that it's online, you are ready to go. I am waiting for person. I'm ready to be used. It sends a request to SNS. Boop, boop, smile. SNS then goes, oh, I know what I'm supposed to do. And it has a fan out way. So what you can use, because it's publisher and sub, this user made a request that basically said, if you get anything within this topic, I want to know about it. Send it to me. So this would then send it out. Now, here's the thing. Depending on use cases of it, you can have a deal where this server is good, but like multiple people. You're like, okay, when the server goes online, notify all of my friends, kind of thing, right? So I want all of my friends to know. And we only have 3 friends because we are a small server. He's not happy. Anyways, he got dragged into this. So it would notify all of them that, hey, your server's online. It's ready. And that's all it does. It's just notification. Now, it doesn't have to be like you can use it through text. It can be Slack. It can be, I think, Discord as well. What else can it be through? Email. I know that much as well, but they're different ways essentially. But yeah, that's it. That's all it is. It's a very simple service. It just notification. Hey, I want to know about it. You know, okay, here you go. You're known about it. Woo, and that's it. Very simple. But yeah, and that is. If you stuck through this far and watched the entire thing, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed. And if this is something that you want to know more about or a specific service, actually let me know in the comments, because leaving a like really doesn't help me know if which one you want to know. And if you have a friend that thinks that they should know about these services, go share the video with them. Until then, see you in the next one. And if you haven't already, go join the waitlist. That is going to be the best way to keep up with this and know when this service goes online. And for the people that join the waitlist, you will be getting a discount code at launch, so that you, as a way of saying, hey, thanks for sticking around and becoming interested with this project. So yeah, go do that. Go join the waitlist. nobosoftware.com/waitlist, or you can do !waitlist in the comments, or actually it's live right now, but yeah. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. Why did I do it that way? Because if I do it this way, not only am I live streaming it, but I can also do it for Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, and YouTube Shorts, which is crazy to think about. All right, that was fun. How long was that? I did an hour of that. That's crazy. Shorts. Do 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 do. Waitlist. Ah. All right, cool. All right, I'm gonna have to go. I will see you all later. Peace out.